Hi, Patricia. Welcome to Jewellery Pod. Thank you for taking time and joining us today.
I'm very grateful to be invited to Jewellery Pod, and the things that you have been doing and the topics that I've been seeing is quite interesting. So, I'm really happy to educate and maybe talk a little bit about what I do and the academy.
And a lot of happening, which is very much design centric, which was I cannot say the same. If talking about 5 years back.
Oh yeah. Things have changed massively, especially with education, with jewelry, the designers that are coming out. So we're very excited to see how it's actually transforming what the jewelry industry looks like here in Dubai. So yeah, we're very excited to see what our graduates and the students are coming up with.
You have a first-hand experience of churning out some amazing designers who are technically sound, who understand the market. Before diving in those questions, I would want you to tell about yourself.
Actually, I come from a very creative family. So my mother is a trained painter and now teaches graphic design. She's been here for, I believe, 30 years now. My brother is an animator and a UX UI designer. So for me, I always found that 3D was a little bit more interesting, some sculptural work. And I found my passion with jewelry when I moved to Canada in 2008.
And you studied design there? Or?
Yeah, so I got my undergrad in fine arts, but my major was in jewelry. And then I started in the industry probably, as a sales professional. So I was working with a luxury brand in Canada, and then I did some custom designing. I also helped brand one of the first lab-grown diamond companies in Calgary. And so that was very exciting. I was teaching on the side, and then, I found myself back here in Dubai, and it's been a very exciting and memorable, for sure, journey.
And how long you've been here for? Besides, I know that you're born and brought up here, then you moved to Canada.
Actually, I was born in the Philippines, but I grew up here. So at the age of 2, I was here. I lived here for 15 years, and then I moved to Canada for 11. And then now I've been back for 5.5. So, it seems like the UAE is always calling me. So I've moved from Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Dubai, and yeah.
And what difference you see from UAE or Dubai back then and now what it is?
I mean, it seems like it's getting faster and faster, right? Whether that's the ideas, the structures that you see, the all of these things, it's just, and with the integration of artificial intelligence, it's quite a busy place, but it's also very exciting to see all of the new projects that are coming up.
And you are taking care, you're running the show for DDA. And before we dive into further questions about it, I would want to know that I'm trying to chase you since long. You were always on the go. And I was just wondering, when do you switch off? Because we all understand that we are human at the end of the day, and we need our own personal time as well. You were in an exhibition last week. Then I'm sure DDA was running parallel as well. So there's a lot to juggle. And how do you take time to switch off and take some time for yourself and rejuvenate?
I mean, I remember when you asked that, and it's a little bit harder to explain or maybe describe, but whenever I do switch off, I tend to spend time with my family, or I go into, especially during December, I fly back to the Philippines, and in our area, there's a lot of greenery. So I tend to be in nature a lot more, in our farm. And so it's either that or I'm reading. So I mean, when it comes to switching off, it's a little bit harder, just because actually I was listening to Tamara, and it was very similar. So at the age of 6, my mom was very big on teaching us to develop skills. So at the age of 6, she started teaching us Adobe Creative Cloud. So I was learning Photoshop, Illustrator.
Wow. At 6?
Yeah. When I was 9, I had my own website,
This is so cool.
So it was always every summer you're learning something, or in your free time you're learning something. And I think, yeah, it's always been like a lifelong journey of learning and, sharing, learning, sharing. Yeah.
That's so cool. So, Patricia, I want you to tell about the DDA as a structure. It's such a prestigious institute that Dubai have. And there's so many students that are out that you guys have groomed in so many ways that I have had first-hand interaction with them, and they're so good. I mean, like, I do have interaction with the designers back then who are probably studied from design institutes. What I noticed, the commercial aspect and the design knowledge that the people who are coming out of DDA is exceptional. Wow. And something we need to talk more about.
Really lovely to hear, and hearing that feedback from industry, just because, the people that are part of growing the Dubai Design Academy has been such a crucial part of helping and developing all of the learners that we see. Since we're just having a conversation, what for you has been like, how is it different?
So what I would say, honestly, if I first thing I can tell you is that they're very clear in their minds what they want when they come if they're talking to a production house. It does make others' job like 90% done, because I cannot read your mind. If you're a creative person, you'll be always going from A to B to Z, and if you're expecting with a manufacturing unit who is operating at certain level to understand you, to accommodate you, and as well as give something which you are thinking in your head, that's technically not possible. Then they're also very sure about what price range they want and what target audience they're planning. So these are the factors that designers or any creative person should know to be commercial successful. And it is fabulous aspect of DDA students that I have noticed firsthand.
Oh, hearing that feedback is just, it brings a lot of joy, just because, when we launched back in 2019, we were mostly focused in 3D designing, and then COVID hit. And so we were thinking, how do we add more value to the industry, to the people who want to learn? And that is when we had developed the three main skills. So at the Academy, we teach jewelry illustration, we teach 3D designing, and metalsmithing. And this, the reason why we had built the courses to have those is that we wanted the future generation of jewelry designers to understand that process. So when they go to manufacturers, they know exactly, okay, this is who I'm designing for. This is what I would like for it to look like. This is the concept. They understand the production standards. They also understand what happens in the manufacturing process so that it informs the way that they design. So, it's really lovely to see and hear that a lot of our graduates are becoming the next generation of jewelry designers and entrepreneurs here.
They're very much on the right path. And I'm connecting the dots now from what you told initially about yourself, that you worked in sale, you are creative as well. And I believe that's what you're inculcating in them as well. If you're training them, then they're getting both of your aspect as well. And I believe that credit is due to Patricia, that you're imparting a commercial as well as a creative knowledge to them, technical as well.
I wouldn't take all of the credit. We have such an amazing team. We have Joel, who teaches our illustration and metalsmithing classes, and he has designed the world's most expensive necklace in the world. He's incredibly humble about it. And then we also have Noha. So she's had a lot of experience with 3D designing. She's been in that industry for, I believe, 11 or 12 years. So, I don't believe it's just myself, but every single person who has come together to build the Academy has a little bit of touch here and there. Now, when it comes to, let's say, what I tend to bring in is when you're talking about luxury jewelry, you're selling a luxury item. It's not a necessity. And so how do you connect with your audience? And you do that through storytelling. And that's why we really focus on the concept development aspect of it, so that you are sharing a narrative, a piece of yourself, whenever you are interacting with your audience. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful contribution of yours and your team. What are the other initiatives that you guys are taking to definitely get people from or aspiring designers from GCC or as well as from Dubai, UAE?
Yeah, so I mean, DMCC, when they had developed the academy, they had one target in mind, which is to develop the future generation of jewelry designers here. Having the support of DMCC is fantastic because, the connections really, or the network, we're able to connect students with different industry leaders. Another great thing that we have is the free zone. So the way that we're currently structuring the academy is that for those aspiring entrepreneurs, whether you're a designer, you want to have your own store, we connect them with the free zone, and the free zone helps them with their business licenses and even their office. So if they're looking for that, if they're looking for manufacturers, suppliers, they're there, and they're there to support, and they're there to collaborate with. Some of the initiatives that we are currently building is in line with the Ministry of Education with diploma level classes. So this is for those who don't necessarily want to go into a 4-year degree. They want something that is more skill-based, and they're ready to go out into the market. So we're hoping to launch our diploma level next year. We continuously collaborate with other organizations as well. So anytime there's an opportunity, we share that with all of our students, our community, and yeah.
How exactly you let that message go out?
So whether that is, sharing it through email or the common, platform of sharing information here is WhatsApp. But yeah, we do constantly keep in contact with a lot of our learners, our graduates, because we still, even though they're no longer learning at the academy, we're still there to help mentor, still provide opportunities, because I find like when it comes to the jewelry industry, there's, I know that you guys talked about competition before.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is to break or make things a little bit more transparent. And so we bring our industry knowledge, we share that with the learners. We also bring some of our contacts, because a lot of the students that we see, they're incredibly passionate. A lot of our learners are more mature students, and maybe some of them had focused on taking care of their family, and now that the kids have grown up, they want to do something for themselves. And we see a lot of that. So it's an amazing environment to be in, because you are surrounded by like-minded individuals as well. Yeah.
Now that you have told us about what kind of people you are dealing on daily basis and who all are getting groomed at DDA, can you throw some light about the courses available for beginners, for intermediate, or someone who's completely no voice to the industry?
Yeah, a lot of those who visit the academy, they say, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this because I'm not talented, or I'm not creative," and for us, we're trying to break that barrier, and we have seen people from very different backgrounds coming to the academy and just creating pieces that, they're absolutely breathtaking. So it doesn't matter whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced level, we're catering to those different demographics. So if you're new to the industry, you want to learn a little bit, come into our introductory courses, or maybe you want to focus more on the theory rather than the practical, we also have classes for that. We're quite flexible as well when it comes to if you want to learn something quite specific and we don't have a course for it, we have one-on-one custom courses. So we really want to tailor the courses to something that you are interested in, you're passionate in learning.
So these courses are like full duration, like full-fledged diploma courses, or like how we do a degree of like a year or so. Do you have the longer term courses as well?
So we have short workshops for those who are hobbyists, but we also have longer programs. So we have our BTech accredited classes, and these are, we get our accreditation from Pearson, which is based in the UK.
Wow.
So if, for instance, once you have your subsidiary diploma or diploma, and you decide you want to further your education around the world, they will recognize it. So right now, our Jewellery Design Fundamentals is a 7-month course. And what's really nice from that course is that you see different styles. You know, here, I remember back then, one of the, I guess, feedback that people had was the design of jewelry is quite similar if you go from store to store. And now what we're seeing is that there are different styles from different regions. They bring that in, and Dubai being kind of like a big pot of different cultures and nationalities, we see that at the academy. You know, someone, let's say one of our learners from Brazil, she absolutely loves gemstones and incorporating more diamonds into her pieces. So we see a lot more of that, and she brings gemstones from her country and she designs with them. We have someone from Lebanon who is more inspired by the architecture and the crafts, and so she has combined that, and you see a completely different style. So, you know, the designs that come out from the BTech classes are quite extraordinary, and and a lot of them tend to actually proceed and go ahead with making these collections and selling them.
This is amazing. You have been closely working with new people. You're working with insiders. We are working with designers. You're working with the people who are in their second innings and trying to explore more about themselves. But do you agree that when someone from outside, completely a stranger, comes out and joins industry, be it on technical field, be it on creative side, they're so amazing in their output that it leaves me in shock every time that what these guys have to give. And that has been one of the narrative of the Jewellery Pod, that new people should join the industry. I'm not saying that we are like, we being in the industry and probably doing the same thing, we kind of develop a bias. But when people from fresh perspective join the industry, that they are so much capable of giving something so new to the industry, and that I've been always vocal about.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you when it comes to welcoming newer people. Just because a lot of our learners are more mature. They come from very different backgrounds, whether you're a pilot or you're building new. I believe she builds X-rays, and then whether you're an interior designer, architect, you know, you bring a little bit of that knowledge into what you're creating right now, and just to see those two worlds kind of merge is quite. It's very beautiful in terms of the types of jewelry that.
I'm always intrigued by that kind of development.
Yeah, actually, there's reminds me of one of our, I guess, learners, but. One of the things that we have at the academy is like a membership. So for those who have a project in mind and they want to come and use a space, they don't necessarily want to invest in all of the equipment, they can come to the academy and do that. And what he's currently working on is creating jewelry with the least amount of solder joints or linking. So what he uses is magnets. And the way that the jewelry stretches, and, you know, mind you, he's an engineer in product design. So, you know, he's able to kind of come up with these new projects. But unless you're kind of surrounded by people or like maybe in that community, you wouldn't necessarily see it. And so for us, even as educators, we're still learning. We're still finding out new techniques and what we could possibly share with other learners as well. So, yeah.
Good that you shared that with us. Talking about young and new people in the industry, I have this question about how you're roping in super young people, like someone who is fresh out of school and they're looking for courses to choose. Does your Instagram of DDA tell people out there that, we are offering such courses like this? How do we make proposition of DDA and its courses look lucrative to young aspirants?
A few years ago, actually, we had collaborated with another government entity, and we were teaching kind of like a little jeweler's camp. And so it's a way for us to, I guess, inspire the future generation of jewelry designers. So we do sometimes have a summer camp where they learn a little bit about the gemstones, a little bit about diamonds. We create pieces of jewelry together. Because I remember whenever I talk to a few people about, okay, what got you into the industry, or why are you so passionate about jewelry? They're like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and I used to play with beads and I used to create my own jewelry and then sell it to my classmates. Yeah. And, having those little activities where they can be a little bit more creative, that's how we invite everyone. Of course, although most of our students are more mature, we still welcome those who are interested in learning about, whether that's the illustration or 3D metalsmithing. Yeah.
That's so cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. What sorts of actions are taken care while a course is running, or you are interacting with the students?
So if we're trying to talk about, let's say, concept of design and then the final product, we talk a lot about that in our accredited program, because, they have to do the research on who they're selling to, and then they also get to work with different manufacturers. So one of the requirements is that, you actually have to create the final piece, one final piece of the collection you've just developed. And what they learn is, dealing with the manufacturers, dealing with different goldsmith suppliers. It's a little bit, they get a little bit more of the industry experience, what it's like to be out in the market. How do we bridge the gap between how their work and then also the audience, is that we include them in our events. So whenever we do our events, we always bring with us student work so that they can see exactly, okay, this is the process. And even the audience ends up falling in love with the journey, right? Yeah. Because we document all of that. In their sketchbooks, you will see, their thought process behind it. Another thing is we also still mentor our students. So a lot of them come back and say, hey, this is what we're doing now. But I have a new project and I really need to get your advice on it. And so, depending on the instructor who has those, skills or expertise, then, we help with their projects still. We still give guidance, mentorship. Yeah, and we even give, we're very inclusive of all the opportunities that are coming through the academy, and we share that to our community.
And what kind of industry feedback you receive when someone, besides what I told you in the beginning of the podcast, what feedback you get from these business holders who are actually full-time into manufacturing? Because I have worked very closely with few of them, and what I understand that their whole sole purpose is to ensure the cyclic business and to also ensure the market profitability of the project as well. So when someone from DDA interacts with manufacturers of that scale, what kind of feedback manufacturers have given to you when these people reach out to them?
So a lot of the feedback, they usually work closely with the student. And what we or how we come in is just for advice, really. Some of the feedback that we have received, because actually a few of our graduates are running their own businesses, or they're a second generation or third generation. They've gone back to their family business and now they are taking care of the operations. And some of the feedback they've given us was that, oh, it would be really nice if you guys added a little bit more of the retail, just so that if, for example, we are hiring a student of yours and they want to learn about the basics, it's a lot easier, to train. So we're actually looking into developing a retail course for the students, or somehow integrating that into the curriculum a little bit more. I know when we talk about concept development, I also still include, okay, how are you going to explain this to your audience and trying to sell that? Some of the feedback as well, it's not only industry, but also just people who are trying to set up their businesses, is they want something more courses on entrepreneurship that focuses on jewelry design. So that's another new initiative that we're trying to build, and having a more streamlined process. So we have a lot of students that come not only within the GCC region, but they fly in as well. But, we're trying to give them a little bit more of, I guess the academy becomes more of like a one-stop shop. Assist them with the accommodation or the visas, or if they're trying to connect with other suppliers, something that's a little bit more streamlined for them.
That's very thoughtful as an institute who's helping out young talent. Like, definitely I understand as an institute, as a design institute, DDA is not competing with anyone, but I also see there are certain laboratories that are offering designing courses. Then there's some initiative by luxury brands as well in field of designing. Mm-hmm. So do you see them as under one umbrella, or how do you stand out? How unique DDA is from all those others? I mean,
what we see from a lot of the different academies that are here are, they focus on a specific skill. Mm-hmm. For us, what we're trying to do is, although we do have specializations of different skills, our main priority is to help the private sector. Mm-hmm. So for those aspiring entrepreneurs, that is where we're really focusing on, bridging the gap of skill development, and then also providing a little bit more advice and mentorship when they're setting up their businesses, and then with the free zone, the help with the business license, with the office and the network, really.
Mm-hmm. And DMCC is known for doing things at certain scale, like it's mm-hmm. never normal. Mm-hmm. It always be like cross borders. It always will be like biggest. I was intrigued by structure of Uptown Dubai and mm-hmm. what all things are going on there.
Yeah.
So talking about as an initiative of DMCC, mm-hmm. is DDA planning to scale up in near future?
I mean, of course, that's always kind of something that we're looking forward to. Is that now we're getting to a point where, we do have a few classes running, and maybe hopefully in the future, in a few years, we'll see ourselves in a different location. Who knows? But yeah, so we're very excited to see the next few years that will, or I guess the different projects and the different changes that will be happening. Who knows, in the, I guess, larger scale. Should we?
Looking forward to 100%, 100%. Dubai is known for that kind mm-hmm. of big structures and big initiatives. Mm-hmm. 100% we're down for it. We're looking forward how it turns out to be in near future. Mm-hmm. And you as an instructor, you working so closely with everyone, what would be your personal take on enhancing their skills, or what you as a person, as Patricia, think that this should be, this we should teach them, or this should be imbibed in their mind, that mm-hmm. They would be excelling in their whatsoever field they go.
So, for us as educators, it's always a lifelong journey of learning. Whenever we come together and we talk about how can we enhance the different courses at the academy. We always keep in mind is we want to give more value than what they're expecting. And so whether that is, again, that mentorship, or whether we listen a lot to the feedback of our students. So if they are saying, okay, I really want to learn about wax carving. I mean, that's one of the bigger things that people have been asking. We actually take action on that. Now, when it comes to the personal or the professional development of the team, again, lifelong learning. So maybe Noha, or one of our instructors who specializes in 3D, she wants to do a little bit more of animating in 3D. Or, for example, with illustration, it's a different approach, different technology or platform. So, we are trying to adapt to market needs, industry needs, because, of course, if you don't continuously learn, then you'll somehow get left behind, right?
Yeah. What would be your personal initiative to enhance whole program, to enhance whole ecosystem of DDA? I understand you, and not as a position of, as an outsider, how do you think that, if I'll do this, it's gonna be like this?
We see so many, or we hear visitors coming in, and the feedback that we get is, we would love to have the academy in our country, because what they want to do is they also want to develop their people. And to see the academy in different countries, of course, it will adapt to what are the designs and what are the different applications and resources that are available. But to be able to see different countries excel in sharing their designs with the world, there's a lot of talk about made in Dubai, right? But to encourage other nations to do that as well, I think is quite exciting.
On design front, that would be amazing. It would be so much new to see across that we'll be like flabbergasted.
Yeah, and it will be quite interesting to see the style too, because, even though there is the Emirati designed pieces are very, it pays homage to their culture. Again, the UAE is how many nationalities, how many people live here. So if you think about the styles that are coming up, maybe we see a fusion, because, a lot of people consider the UAE their home, right? 100%. So that merge will be quite beautiful as well.
Great. I mean, it would be, no doubt. You have inside out knowledge about what's the creative process like. You are getting to know the minds of the people. What are the latest trends? What 3 or 4 trends that you can spot are very hot in the jewelry industry right now?
Ooh. I think it's that integration of artificial intelligence. That's something that's been quite big. It's not only in education, but in various industries, is how do we integrate artificial intelligence? And also DMCC has a center that they recently launched, AI Center. So for us as an academy, we actually integrate a little bit of AI into our design process now. We also see a little bit more digital design peeking through. Actually, it's not peeking, it's very evident. So instead of doing manual designs, maybe the manual design is being used in we see Procreate being used a lot. But there's still quite a few people looking for that handmade and that
Art
touch.
Finish.
Exactly. So, and maybe even, it might take a while, but it would be interesting to see, I guess, sustainable materials here in the industry.
And you also see usage of lots of color stone nowadays. That's super big with so many creators, with so many established brands for that matter.
Yeah.
That they're using amazing color stones. Any trend that you spot that would be like really big in coming future? Probably Art Deco could be a big, and it could come again, though it was already there, but not in that big way.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of nature-inspired jewelry at Met Gala,
Yeah.
I would say, and so that kind of sets the tone for the year.
I think for what I'm seeing is, or just the feedback that we do get, we see a lot more of like the organic pieces. People want to be making it out of wax and actually casting the pieces themselves. So something a little bit more organic, I guess less refined. More matte finish, satin finish pieces. That's what we are seeing as an institution, what people want to design in the future.
Patricia, you are a creative person since beginning of the time, but given a chance, like what's the other side of you that nobody knows?
Ooh, what's another side? It's very interesting because, I do see that, or I've seen my life maybe turn a few different ways. One thing I would probably, if let's say I had to redo all over again and I'm not in the jewelry industry, I think I'd be working more for NGOs because back in my mid-20s, so quite a while back, I worked with an orphanage and I used to teach art and art workshops, and to see the joy in others. So I want to be able to build that platform for those who aren't really able to access that kind of platform to be able to express themselves. Probably within that NGO sector, helping communities develop for sure.
Wishing you all the best with that.
Thank you so much.
Hoping to see it take a good shape sometimes down the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
Patricia, as an institute, what new initiatives you guys are planning? What we are about to see in near future?
I mean, at the Academy, we're always open to collaborations, and we've collaborated with different organizations. One of our more successful collaborations is Check Mint. So our students design coins, minted coins for them. But we are also collaborating with other organizations to help enhance or help encourage other learners to be able to start in the jewelry industry. So you may see a little bit more of us being here, there, and everywhere.
And it would be more towards getting more professionals in the industry, or it would be more towards getting new aspirants in the industry?
A little bit of both, right? So what we're seeing a lot more professionals come to the Academy and share their input, and they want to share their knowledge with the next generation. So we would like to also hold that space, or maybe have a class where they learn from these professionals for sure.
And it's a question out of the syllabus that India is a wild market for jewelry design and for jewelry industry as a whole. And there are so many amazing institutes. Have you ever put in your consideration to collab with them? Because I'm so sure about this collaboration that people from there would love to be here and learn more, and maybe if you guys going over there and holding workshops, that would be an amazing initiative in my imagination. What do you have to say about it?
Oh, I mean, again, we're very open to that. We've traveled to Bahrain a few times to be able to deliver our courses. We're also doing a little bit more online learning as well. So, if we're able to learn from different regions as well, that would be fantastic. We have a few institutions in mind, so we'll see what comes up from that collaboration.
And would you like to name few of your most successful students that are excelling in the market, not necessarily from the UAE, but from the region, whoever is like ex-DDA and doing phenomenal in design or business?
I find that, there are quite a few that are a little bit more vocal, and those that are kind of working
Silently.
Yeah, silently, discreetly. That's a good term. The few names that are coming up to mind is Ali Al Ali.
He's fabulous.
Yes, he's incredibly talented and very supportive of the art and design and jewelry scene. And so we're very excited to see where he has started and where he is now as vice chairman of the new jewelry group by the Chamber of Commerce. He also designs coins with check mint as well, and he's done a gold note as well. He's, whenever we talk about Ali, they always say, "Oh, he's everywhere." He's everywhere. And then we also have Juliana. So Juliana Saris, she has launched her brand, and she's doing beautiful work. She travels around the world. She collects gemstones, and there's a real passion in what she does, and you can even feel it whenever you see her work. We also have Wahi. So Wahi has launched her brand as well. She's doing a lot more, designs that are inspired by the Middle East. I know during her time with us, she created some beautiful work about her hometown in Yemen. And then we also have Mohammed Rahil. So he's several generations in the industry, and he's actually gone back to his family business to help out. And so, just because maybe they're looking, or maybe they studied in jewelry design, right? We see very different outcomes or different pathways that each person has taken. One of our students, Mafaz, so, she's so passionate about jewelry, but then now she's finding herself teaching as well. So, and that's what's really nice about what's happening with the graduates at the academy, is that, they've learned all of these things, but they're also very open and willing to share.
That's beauty of everything that people are learning, and it should not stop over there. The best thing comes out when it's shared further.
Exactly, because when you have, let's say, technology or knowledge that's just been with you for your whole life, I think the next step is wanting for others to benefit from that knowledge, right?
Patricia, it's been a while, like we covered so many topics, and it still feels that so much more is left to discuss. But this topic intrigues me a lot about sustainability. Many big companies talk a lot about it. However, behind the scenes is quite terrible, honestly. I have seen it firsthand. Yeah. But there are some companies, commendable companies, that stopped use of coral, stopped use of certain precious stones that are super rare and could be conflicting to procure. What is your initiative for sustainability? How do you make concept of sustainability permeable to new minds?
When it comes to sustainability and education, we definitely incorporate that into our curriculum. So especially during discussions, for example, if we're talking about what kind of stones or how do I get certain materials, we always incorporate that, or we do our best to incorporate that into the conversation. But also in our curriculum for the BTech program, we always have an assignment brief that focuses on sustainability and awareness on the environment. So we've had projects about World Ocean Days, so they learn more about what's actually happening in the world, and it's not just, they're a little bit more conscious about what materials they use and how they procure them. Also about air pollution, what do these manufacturers actually, how do they contribute to air pollution? So there's a lot more awareness in the courses as well. So when they come to us and they learn, it's not just about, okay, I'm going to make a design, but also awareness on what's happening with the world today.
So many friends are those who are on the consumer side of jewelry are super conscious from where the diamond is from, where the color stone is from. Will they get a certificate of authenticity along with that? All these are questions are coming from the people outside industry. I can imagine only how it should be behind the scene, and there's lot more could be done collectively. But I feel it's more action is needed than words.
Yeah, I mean, we have to start somewhere, right?
100%.
And so whether that is awareness through a course, then maybe at the back of their mind they're always thinking about that. Okay, how can I contribute to this? Yeah.
Nothing could be best than an education institute who's dedicatedly working in this area.
Yes.
We will conclude this conversation, Patricia, by your message that you want to give it to everyone, and it should be, you're planning to just say it out. If you've got a platform today, just tell us what one message you would give to industry, irrespective, consumers, manufacturers, students, young aspirants.
Oh, that's a
big responsibility.
That's a big, but
you are running a big responsibility.
But I think when it comes to the industry, I would say that it's okay to share. It's okay to share your knowledge. It's okay to share information, It's okay to, because, for example, you've been in the industry for 15, 20 years, right? And if you shared your knowledge with someone else, maybe one of the things that you'll be thinking of, there could be competition. But it will take them a while to be able to get to that place where you might be.
Yeah.
And so if you share knowledge, if you share, even if you collaborate as well,
100%.
Some of the work that you will see, with collaboration will be absolutely beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with, sharing a little bit of...
My personal view is that industry has experienced more harm than gatekeeping. What they thought that it's gonna do favors to themselves or probably their organization, being so closed about their learning and their achievement, didn't took them anywhere. It wasn't any good to any of the parties. And going back to collaboration as well, is that sometimes we have projects at the academy, and I might go to the team and say, listen, we need to make this somehow. And just to see how we come together and talk about, okay, if we can do this or do that, it builds a lot more of a stronger community as well. Always.
Yeah. So share and collaborate. Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing lovely bits from your journey, from your career. It was a pleasure having a conversation with you on the Jewellery Pod. Oh,
it has been my pleasure, and thank you for sharing all of this knowledge with the world too. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us for this lovely session on the Jewellery Pod. We'll be right back next Tuesday. Thank you.